Welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Love More Than Two live podcast. And today I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Alex.
Hi, this is Tabby the Majestik.
And today we're going to talk about jealousy.
Ooh.
So, getting into it, we need to understand what jealousy is, why is it here, why do we feel that way, and what do we do to work around it. Let's go back during biblical times when jealousy was pretty much first introduced, right? When Adam and Eve, and how Adam became jealous of Eve because, she had this mindful of, she was very mindful and glorious of her body and, saw the wisdom, right? She saw beyond what Adam saw, right? So Adam became jealous of this and, he did what he do. He ate the apple and here we are today. So, but in other terms in biblical, jealousy is a sin. Why is it a sin? Reason why I say it's a sin, and it's not only why I say it's a sin, it's biblical. It played with the man downstairs, right? No names mentioned. We all know who we're talking about. And he was jealous of God. God was his great divine. Everybody looked up to him. All the angels. Well, not everybody. All the angels looked up to him. And he became jealous of that because he wanted that likeness. He wanted to be God, right? So, of course, jealousy came a big consequence for him. And he was rid. If I'm not mistaken, he was rid out of heaven and, took a third of the angels with him. And there it is, right? So jealousy is some form of a sin, but it could be a good thing too. I'm not saying it's bad, not necessarily, but it could also be good. So before I get into letting Tabby talk about how she feels about jealousy, I just wanted to share some things with you guys. And, I remember a while back when we first started doing the whole poly thing and being active in the poly scene. And she dated somebody, and it was a woman. And I was a little jealous in the beginning. I was jealous because somebody was taking away my time. And it was hard, very hard in the beginning. So as she was dating this person and we sit down, we would talk about it, and, we thought, hey, why am I feeling this way? She used to tell me all the time, babe, it's okay. Don't hide your feelings, and don't bottle things up. But, I was jealous. I was very jealous and envious. So, in time, I've learned how to work with it as the days progress. The days turn into weeks. The weeks turn into months. I progressed it, and now when she does date, I don't get jealous no more. Now it's more of a concern. Her safety, making sure she's okay, using protection, all that stuff, right? But now it's more of a concern. So it's not jealousy. Jealousy was, okay, she's dating this woman. This woman is taking my girl out. They're having sex. They're having fun. And what the F? I kept myself occupied, guys. I kept myself occupied and didn't take too much thought. I just went with the flow. I knew she had to be home. And when she got home, we talked about the problem. And she gave me the reassurance I needed for me not to feel jealous anymore. Well, to work on the jealousy. So it's always there, people. Being jealous is always there. It's a normal feeling. That's why I say it's good or bad. If it's a bad jealousy, then it could be toxic. And we don't want bad jealousy. Jealousy You want it to be a healthy jealousy to where you could communicate about it and talk about it and move forward and work with it, right? That's the kind of jealousy we want, okay? We don't want the envious jealousy to where it could cause harm, to yourself, most importantly, the people you love. We don't want that jealousy, right? So find your way to work with it. And we're here to talk about how you could work with it. What can you do to keep yourself occupied? What you need to tell yourself. So before we talk further into the topic, I'm going to put Tabby on and I'm going to let her say how she feels about jealousy.
Hello, Tabby once again. About jealousy, well, I was the same way when Alex would go on dates or, spend the night, with our ex-girlfriend and whatnot. And like what he said, he had to, want to make sure to, make sure that, I'm not going nowhere as well as him, It's about the trust, the love, the equal, and, I have to also have the consideration for the other woman that she also deserves to spend some time with him, because they both deserve it, every time that, it'll be the three of us and it will be the most beautiful thing, I used to have a jealousy moment, not gonna sit there and say, used to, because I never know, I might have one of my moments that I go through a little jealousy, but that's okay, what I do is I overconquer it and have that positive energy, the positive thoughts, good vibes, and good vibes and positive energy defeat bad energy and, jealousy and all that kind of negative things.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second because I'm going to comment. So how do you work, explain yourself as far as how did you deal with the jealousy when I used to spend the night over
our
ex-girlfriend's house? How did you feel? How did you keep yourself occupied from not giving into the jealousy?
Well, I will watch stuff that I like to watch on YouTube, Netflix or Hulu, call, talk to my friends, family, do my own thing with spiritual stuff and just keep myself occupied and just actually start thinking I hope you're having a good time and I hope both of you are having a good time. And that's what helps me conquer it.
Awesome. That's amazing. But do you feel by taking those actions, watching Netflix, reading a book, calling friends, so that helped with your jealousy is what you're saying?
Yes. And also you let me know hey babe, I love you. You're not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. I genuinely love you. So you don't need to worry about it, and that's what smoothed me down and comforts me.
So it's reinsurance. That's the key word, people. Reinsurance. Always reinsure your couple, your partners. It's normal to feel jealous. It's nothing wrong with it. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's embedded in us like a code, okay? It's always going to be there. No matter how much of an experience you have, you learn to deal with it and to work with it, but it's always going to be there. Especially when you're involved in a polyamorous lifestyle relationship. You're living this and we're living this, and hopefully those that are listening are living this as well. But it also applies to square relationships. I'm sorry, I call it square. I'm not trying to be biased. I'm not a hater, but square relationships, when it's just a couple, meaning two, it's not normal to me anymore. So I call it square, please, no offense. But even when it's a regular relationship, it's jealousy is there. It's always there. So we've dealt with many women in the past, and they were jealous too. Let's talk about a few ones that were jealous towards our relationship and what we did to give them some reinsurance. You want to start?
the question is, I don't know where to start. Where to start with that? Well, we dealt with women that either try to like get jealous to a point that will try to break us up. Well, meanwhile, it just backfires them, makes them look like stupid. No offense. Make them look like a clown, because at the end of the day, it's not about favoritism, and it's not about none of that or who's better than who. It's about equal. You know, whatever bothers that person or ex or whoever we with, it bothers us, and we sit down and put it on the table and discuss it and mediate the situation and whatnot. I went through situations of one of our ex that really tried to take me out the picture. I don't know for what reason. Well, meanwhile, I was trying to talk things out and everything like that, you know, but like I said, all it did was just made us stronger, you know, our relationship stronger than ever, you know. We had haters, even outside of the people, haters being jealous, like, you know, and it's a point of jealousy because there's some people that are built for this, to be a poly or not be poly. Some people are not built for it, you know.
Even when it's not poly, even when it's a
regular,
couple relationship, you know, it's there. You know, jealousy is always going to be there. There's no eradicating it. If I could tell you, or we could tell you how to eradicate jealousy, it's impossible. We're not God. He's the only one that can eradicate jealousy, and unfortunately, it's here. Okay, it's a virus. All right. So, our ex-girlfriend, you know, in the subject of her, back to her, you know, we're not going to mention names because we don't self-incriminate and we don't put people on blast like that. You know, it was difficult for her. You know, she wasn't poly, beautiful person, beautiful woman, you know, her soul was golden. But it was hard for her to deal with being involved with two people. Okay, she wanted me, she wanted my girl. And when she had me, she was jealous because I had to go back home. Now, mind you, I rather prefer our partners live with us. But some of them, they got their own thing. They got their own house. They got their own vehicles. You know what I mean? So, I'm not trying to take them out of that element. You know, they're there, right? They built that for themselves. But understand when she used to tell us, I'm always going to be number two. You're always going to be his number one. I'm going to be number two. Because you get to have him more than I do. That's true. That is very true, people. Very true. And this is why I tell you jealousy could be a good thing or a bad thing, because the bad thing out of that, the outcome was she was jealous because of the fact that she can have me 24/7. Now, mind you, we did try to work with it. And as the time progressed, you know, the months that we've been with her at this time, you know, she was working on it. I'm not going to say she wasn't, because she desperately tried to work on it. But in the end, it failed. That's why we're no longer with her. No longer with us, because it failed. So, what were the things, Tabby, that she used to, what was it, what triggered it? What triggered her jealousy besides me staying over there? Because, you know, you're a woman, she's a woman. So, as a woman perspective, what was your take on it?
Well, it was a lot of like bumping heads. Like I would try to be like the one that try to talk to her about it, and it's always negative feedback, or like her comparing herself to me, you know, which I, you know, genuine, she has a beautiful soul. You know, everybody have their flaws. She has a beautiful soul, but it was just a comparison. That's not a good thing, because it's not about competing with one another, being jealous of one another. It's about, you know, building together, building an empire together. It was becoming very toxic. When things become toxic, it's good to let go. Love enough to let go.
Yeah, I'm a big believer of that too. You know, I can love, but I can also love to let go. You know, I'd rather love from far than to hate from near. You know what I mean? Because once the jealousy becomes toxic, there is pretty much no turning back. You can't convince people